Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. Today I want to talk to you about the SPS governance proposal. In this video, myself, Jim Morgan, and DarkestNyte are going to debate the pros and cons of this new proposal. And if you don't know, they're looking at changing how the rewards are paid out based on the card levels you're using. If you're playing in gold, you have to have a silver deck. If you're playing in diamond, you have to have a gold deck. And that expectation, if it's not met, is going to diminish how much reward you receive. A lot of people are critical of this, including some of those who were alive in the audience when we recorded this. So we address those concerns and those critiques. And I think we look at both the pros and cons of this. And this video is going to really be able to articulate my full and final view on this proposal and why I am for it. If that sounds interesting, stick around, stay tuned, like, and subscribe. Okay, guys, have an amazing day. God bless.
There was one thing I wanted to talk about with the new proposal. Sure, we could say that like people are going to be getting less rewards per per like win, it depending on if you have the cards under leveled. But then you could also look at it in terms of, all right, well, if it is now forcing people to merge their cards together and go and then it gets rid of it cuts the supply by a lot, right? He said if every single card was put to level 3, you'd have 130,000 in circulation.
Say that one more time for me.
So in this post right here that Matt talked about, he said, well, so if there's 1.8 million copies of a card at 1 BCX, if you turn every single one into, yeah, there it is right there. And then third line or 3 lines down, it would reduce the total number of each Chaos Legion common card to about 130,000.
Yeah.
Which is absurd. So now you start thinking about it in terms of, all right, my dividend yield is going down, but my growth stock is now going up. Because he instantly kind of cuts this by more than 10 times.
Yeah. So there's appreciation opportunity, whereas there's less of the, perhaps less of the like payouts or at the league level, but more of the appreciation argument is what you're saying.
Yeah. And then for the packs, like 9 months on, 3 months off, I am 100% for that. You know, I'm so for that. I would be fine if they made a proposal that would be like Chaos Legion for only 1 more month, and then we're going to cut it off.
Yep.
100% down.
Yeah. So would I.
But then we all get the airdrops at the end. So like, give us that.
Yeah, that's the question I keep seeing in the comment section. Like, how are the airdrops going to be handled? And I guess, we'll figure that out. They're not going to disappear.
It could be time-based. It could be, all right, well, now at that point, if there's 12 going out, all right, take 9 months, divide it by 12. That's how often you're going to get an airdrop. So every, 3 weeks, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well said. I mean, absolutely.
Yeah, I haven't fully read this proposal yet.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I've heard enough that I think I understand it well enough to say that I think I've got some concerns that maybe it's not the best way to skin the cat, if you know what I mean. Like there are, if the targeted desire is X, I think there's other ways to get at X than maybe this, but it does the nuance around how the cards can be. At first I thought they all had to be leveled up, like perfectly leveled up, and that's not so. They need to be leveled up to the highest level that is appropriate for the league below you. If I understood Hawks correctly, because I saw Hawks 21 did a video today, and I was listening to it, and he said, and there's the data is here somewhere. Like he showed a chart. It's not here.
So this right here is just Yabba Matt talking about specifically why he thinks we should all vote for this.
Okay.
But there is if you hit that. Yeah, so this is the actual proposal.
Okay. And so in here,
and you can scroll down a little bit.
Yeah, so
there it is.
So then this is what in the table below details the proposed minimum levels of cards for each rarity required to earn full rewards at each league. So at silver, you need level 3 commons, level 2 rares, level 2. This is not what maximally is available at silver. Like at silver, you can play level 2 legendaries, level 3 epics, level 4 rares, and level 5 commons, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And so and so this is actually like, these are low level cards for silver that you can earn with. And same with gold and same with diamond. And so I actually think that in that light is far more bearable than I thought just yesterday as I was commenting with my members, and saying I'm a little nervous about that. And then also in Hawks21, shout out to Hawks21, great guy, I love his videos. He's been on before too. And he was saying in the video that not only is this kind of a reasonable threshold to request if you're going to be playing in silver, because it isn't silver, it's really, these are bronze numbers for silver, and these are gold, these are silver numbers for gold, etc. That's reasonable on the one hand, but then on the other hand, if you are a serious player in Splinterlands, an actual human that's actually trying to build a deck and trying to thrive at whatever league level you play at, then this indicates that you are probably going to be above. Like there will be people that don't cut this. Like there will be bots that aren't meeting these standards, whereas you, the human, who have 1 or 2 or 3 accounts and are being serious about this, are gonna be stringent about these requirements, and so you will be one of the few that are not punished by these league requirements, whereas bot armies of 10,000 strong will be, because they aren't going to comply with these sorts of requirements, or they're all going to stick in the lowest league levels. And then the lowest league levels, like remember, we get a certain reward for bronze and a certain reward for silver and so on. And so, if they want to fight in your league and you're a silver warrior, well, those bot armies have got to figure it out. They got to get their bronze level cards. And I think that is actually good. And the more I debate it, Knight, what do you think about this?
So initially, just looking at the chart, and I saw Hawk's video as well. I think a real human player won't even think about this, right? Most of us already have cards that exceed these requirements. So I don't think it's going to be an issue for a real player.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the question I have is, I'm already earning full rewards, regardless of what my cards look like right now. So what you're saying, and again, this is one of those kind of difficult times, is if you're a new player getting in, you're not gonna do this. You might not even know you need to do this. You're still gonna need to make a much more significant investment than you probably would have otherwise. So I asked Matt a question, right, while we were at Splinterfest, and I think it's related to this because said he was working on something, and I think this was it. I said to him, I said, look, I want to play the game more. This is the question I was going to ask when I was waiting up at the stage. I want to play the game more. I want to play a lot more, but ECR is killing me, right? And what his response to me was, oh no, actually I added on to it. I said, look, I could play for the next 100 years and not get a full return on my investment based on the amount of money that I've actually invested. And so I don't want to get 0 rewards, but getting the rewards is not the end all be all. I just like playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
And his response to me was, we're taking that into account. We're going to make some changes that should reward people like you that have invested quite a bit in the game. But one of the things he said, this was an interesting stat he said to me, he said, you're like in the 1% of the people that play the way that you play. ECR wasn't really meant for you, right? It punishes you much more than it should have, and we recognize that, and we're going to make some changes.
So help me understand first before you go any further, because I think I'm lost on the idea of how you are uniquely punished. Can you help me understand that? Or
sure.
Yeah.
So absolutely. So for me, I love the game, right? And what I told him was, I have to choose If I want to play a lot, my ECR drops and I get less rewards. Right, so that's the punishment part. I love the game. I want to play,
Mhm.
but I play also to get some rewards. But the more I play over time,
Yeah.
the less rewards I get.
Yeah.
That's the punishment part,
Gotcha.
right? So, but again, ECR was put in to curtail bots, right?
Mhm.
It wasn't meant to actually curtail real players.
Yeah.
But I am suffering as if I'm making less rewards because of the system that they have implemented.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I understand now.
Yeah, so I think so if you look at this proposal, it should reward me, right, for already having made the investment to the levels that they have indicated,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So I'll be rewarded for that. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's trying to create a space where if you are accurately placed from like a financial investment standpoint,
Yeah.
that you are receiving a lion's share of the possible rewards at that level,
Correct.
as opposed to somebody who has climbed from bronze into silver with next to nothing. But then what people say is, and Jim, it's been a while since I heard you. People say to me,
Oh.
like if I'm good and I climb from silver into gold, I shouldn't be so heavily punished. Like I'm a talented player, but don't we want talented players? Like why are we punishing? Why are we putting this sort of weight on them and like saying no, you can't? Like there's this barrier in front of you.
Jim, I didn't know if you wanted to say something
Go ahead,
first.
Knight. Go ahead.
I'll let you go.
Okay, so this feels to me like part two of the change they just made a couple of weeks ago, right? Where they broke out the reward pools by tier,
Mm-hmm.
right? So each tier has their own reward.
Yeah.
Now within that reward tier pool, if you've invested in the cards at that correct tier, you will get a higher percentage of that pool for every win.
Yeah.
Right, so there'll be more. So someone that's invested fully in maxing out their cards
Yeah.
for the level they're playing in will get theoretically a bigger percentage of that pool.
Yeah.
So if I'm playing at a high end champion,
Yes.
and you're just barely making it because you don't really have all the cards leveled up, well, you're not going to out reward me, right? I'm
Agreed.
going to get a bigger slice of that pie per
Yeah.
tier.
Yeah, I agree, and that was a point that I heard Hawks making, and I couldn't articulate it, but it makes perfect sense to me, because if you thrive at a given level, you're gonna own that in that space and collect more of that, like I said, the lion's share of the possible rewards at that league level, as opposed to the guy who squeaks into that league level. And to be honest, that might be me at champion. I have an amazing, I think I have a strong deck, but at the same time, there's a ton of cards I have that are not maxed out, that I've allowed to not be maxed out for a variety of reasons. Most of them. This one's not maxed out, but it would be qualifying. Like it's level 7, it only goes to level 8, so it would be okay. But I guess my point is, I'm going to have to be, if I go to champion again, I'm going to need to be thoughtful around that and be like, okay, do I really want to fight at that level and be committed to those monster levels? Or do I want to stay at a diamond and maybe get a bigger share of what diamond could be? Yeah. It's interesting.
So you want to know what I really think the real impact of this is going to be?
Yeah.
Is people are going to be rewarded for finding new strategies and synergies for cards that are less expensive. Right? I mean, yeah, we already know what the known competitive cards are, right? And that's why they're so expensive.
Yeah.
But what if you take some of the lesser valuable cards, or lesser priced cards? I won't say lesser valuable, but lesser priced cards, and start to create, effective combinations with those cards.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna be rewarded for that, right? Because you'll max those cards out because you'll see them for pennies compared to the other cards, and then you start winning. I mean, wow, it could change the whole game.
Yeah, that's interesting. Let's see some comments here. I see Butters dropped. He says, I'm loving the proposal. I need to comb over it more, but Hawks21 has a great breakdown. Definitely. NC Charlie said, if the proposal passes, I'm thinking getting ready for a run on cards. And my friend's not here, but I have a friend in the guild who has said, if the proposal passes, he's probably going to leave. So and maybe that's just tension and of the moment and not really needing time to like breathe in it. But that's a sentiment I've heard. And so, I don't know. I like it. I think I like it. The more I listen to you guys talk about it, the more I think about it. I think I like it for all the reasons we've already explained. Garrett says, my issue with this is I have built my deck to play in gold, and I have mostly gold level chaos cards, but I also have a lot of powerful old 1BCX legendaries that I use all the time that work fine in gold. Also chicken, ooze, beans, lower level bronze useful cards that I don't need higher levels to have strategically found the breaking point of the card for my deck. Yeah, that argument is one I discussed with my members last night, Garrett, and I agree. Especially when you look at beans, ooze, chicken. I guess the thing is, this is not, we've talked about it already, but let's try and accentuate it here with your case in mind. If there are 100 points up for grabs, call it points, it's, there's 100 points up for grabs in your specific league. And everybody is doing X thing, X foul, X like punishment, X like, they're all using a level 1 BCX chicken. Then I think it would probably come out in a wash, because it's not exactly you have to be perfect. It's more like you have to be the closest to perfect amongst the competitors within your league level to maximize the possible returns that are available at that league level. Do you guys think I'm right on that comment, Knight or Jim? And if not, do you want to correct me in some way there?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, I would think about that. Yeah.
Because I mean, if everybody, let's say we're all running, if there's 100 competitors fighting for the 100 apples and that are available at Gold 1, and everyone's doing, who has a full chicken? No one has a full chicken. Who has a, maybe a level 2 chicken or 3 or something like that, but not a gold. You would want, like, I think a level 6. No one's got a level 6 chicken that they're throwing around. Right. I would wager you as a chicken user you're going to lose, quote unquote, Rshares or whatever for having played that card. But of the people, like, everyone uses chicken that competes at a high level, and everyone has the lower level one. So maybe that's a wash. And fiends are another example. No one at gold is going to have like more that it really makes zero sense to have more than 1 BCX of each fiend, unless you're going to diamond or champion. And if he
right.
What's up?
Yeah. So I mean, this is interesting, right? So as a player, you're going to have to choose, just like Matt told me, right? I have to choose whether to be a player or focus on rewards. Some people will be able to do both, right? Because they'll have the resources to be able to do that, but not everybody, right? So, I mean, and again, it's absolutely going to be a choice. And will you be able to get a return on an investment if you do? Well, that's the thing I think that you've been talking about, right? Right now, during a bear market, it may seem like a very difficult choice, but once we go to the bull, it might be a no-brainer.
Yeah. And okay, first of all, Cimarron says he figures I'm right, and so does Bobuman. But Garrett came back and said other examples: Kraken level 1 is still great, Wooden Nymph level 3 is still great for healing, Swamp Thing level 2. And I think, interestingly, I would want to carry my argument forward and say, if a Kraken level 1 at gold is getting you, a significant win percentage, let's say it's allowing you to win, 60, 70% of your water battles. When you play it, it is a significant contributor to victory. If that's so, then that one card will be pulling down the amount of Rshares you're collecting for that win because it's not leveled appropriately. But that one card is simultaneously pushing up your Rshare collection because it's allowing you to win. And so it's like, it's strange because it's like, yeah, it's punishing you a little, but it's actually theoretically in your argument, it's a strong card. It wins a lot. I use it because it wins. Well, then it's allowing you to win. And that win is bringing Rshares in, even if those Rshares are diminished in some degree because of the level of that card.
Throw something in real quick.
Go for it.
So, they are planning on making it to where you're going to be able to change the level of your cards like during the during the picking phase.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to the rewards, right? Someone said in chat, they've talked about how good it is to have certain level cards, so that way it's just better for certain things, right?
Yes.
One guy says level 4 Adelaide swiftness is good, but you also need level 3 Adelaide in reverse speed rule.
Yeah.
So if you had the level 4 Adelaide and it gets to the point where we are able to change the level of our cards during the picking phase.
Yeah.
So you have the level 4, but you can make it level 3 if you need to for a reverse rule speed.
Mm-hmm.
You won't get punished. Well, right, putting quotes around punished. Because you still have the card at that max level that you need it for.
Yeah, which
I think is eventually their plan, and I want to say that is the correct route to take it.
Yeah.
Knight, you got something to say there?
No, I was agreeing with what Jim said.
I think that's cool, and I like that you brought that up, Jim. I heard that too. I think people like Garrett still have a critique to raise and say, yeah, but now I got to go and buy, a Kraken at level 6, level 3, because I'm gold, or level 2 at least, which is 3 BCX of an expensive card as opposed to the 1, which I'm happy with. And
same thing with the shield bearer. A lot of people just have a 1 BCX shield bearer and it goes perfectly fine.
Yeah. So, but again, I think it's just going to boil down to, if it's really helping you win, and it's kind of the same with ghost cards. There are times where I'll play a ghost card and I say to myself, I know I'm hurting my Rshares, but it really is that important to this one rule set, this one match. So yes, I'll do it. And then if it helped me win, if I lose playing the ghost card, no one cares. If I win playing the ghost card, well, I still won. I still got most of my potential Rshares out of that victory. And that's what we have to remember. Plus, everyone else is walking that same path, doing that occasionally. Like, the only people who are doing this problem, this issue, I guess a lot, is going to be the people who have no place being at that league level. Like, if you're in gold and you don't even have a silver deck, because that's what you need. You really have to not even have a silver deck to really be constantly confronted by this problem.
Yeah, it's hearing you say that. You know what this reminds me of? This is like another iteration of card tiering, right? So we have our normal cards, and then we have gold level cards, right? What's the benefit? Well, there's an actual benefit in having gold cards, right? You will get a bonus, which is, again, a bigger slice of that pie. So this just feels like that, right? Where you'll have people that focus primarily on getting gold cards, right? And they do get a bigger share of that pie based on the level of their investment. But there are some people that totally shy away from gold cards and they forego getting that bonus just to have a lesser investment. So it just kind of feels like that.
Yeah, I'm with you
and
there.
The good thing about the gold cards is you don't have to worry about it being 1 BCX because all the gold cards are maxed out for bronze instantly, except for legendaries, which that's maxed out for silver.
Mm. Mm.
Yep. So that could be. I mean, so how does that factor into this change, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess some of it's honestly, I need to see it, I think. But I feel as though I understand at least. I feel like I understand, 80% of the ramifications, and then maybe there are some other things I'm not really seeing till the full end of. I feel at this moment like justified in saying it sounds like it'd be for the best. But I reserve the right to change my opinion as I learn more.
Yeah. I would also say, I mean, again, the selection of cards during the rental process, right?
Mhm.
You may now, instead of renting, the lowest tier card for the tier you're playing in, you may now be much more specific in terms of the level card that you rent in order to maximize those rewards.
Mm.
So the rental market may get a little bit of a boost.
Mm.
The card purchase market, I'm sure, will get a bit of a boost.
Yeah.
Um, and you're not going to, I think more likely, people will start to pare down their collections, right? They may be able to sell cards for more than they normally would and get rid of cards in your collection that you never use, right? In
Mhm.
order to consolidate that value into cards that you play with a lot.